Well, welcome to the show. Daryl Wislang, wherever you are in Europe, this is Martin Devlin in New Zealand. Oh, you're in LA, Martin Devlin in New Zealand. Welcome to the program, Daryl.
Thanks very much, Martin.
Dude, I've been contacted on social media by a couple of people, and they've said you've got to talk to this guy. You have claimed your third career title in the ocean racing this series, and it's a consecutive title as well, the VO65 Sprint. I got to admit, my friend, I don't know stuff all about this, but I love blue water. I love that ocean racing thing, so I want to get you on to explain cock-a-doodle-doo and tell us how damn good you are. Go ahead.
I've been involved with the ocean race for a fairly long time. 2005 was the first involvement with a Spanish team, Movistar, on the shore, and then I've sailed on everyone since, and finishing third, second, and now three firsts. So awesome to be involved, and absolutely love the race. You hear a lot of Kiwis talk about the Whitbread and the Volvo and now the ocean race.
Yep.
And it's a bit of a part of the New Zealand history, and there's been a lot of good people before me.
Okay, so exactly, where are you racing? How long are the races? All of that.
Well, the ocean race in general is a around the world race, 36,000 miles approximately, and the last few editions have started in Alicante in Spain, and then they've finished in various ports in Europe. The Hague was the previous edition. Genoa is this one, and I was involved with the 65, which did a very shortened version of the race, which is leg 1, 6 and 7. So they did, I guess the ocean race title is not a full circumnavigation, which the ocean race is. It's the Sprint Cup, so there's a little bit of play on words there, but
sure.
Still, it's a pretty cool achievement.
So you won 6 and 7. So exactly from where to where with those legs?
So they were from Aarhus in Denmark down to Den Haag in the Netherlands, and then Den Haag down to Genova. So the 2,200 miles down to Genova was one of the longer, was the longest leg that the 65s did. So we put together a good team and managed to get the job done pretty convincingly.
How many other Kiwis on your crew, dude?
Just one other, Gemma Jones, legendary father Murray Jones.
Oh yes, of course, I know Murray.
Oh yes, yeah. So I did a fair bit of sailing with Murray, and I was involved with Bianca Cook when she got the 65 into New Zealand. We were trying to get together a sponsor for this race as a 65 program, and Gemma was one of the girls that was sailing on the boat with us down there. And so when this opportunity came up, I reached out, and she was really keen, so came along.
How hard out is the racing?
Look, in general, it's absolutely manic. The boats are one design. You're close quarter racing the whole time. It's a pretty stressful environment, and the boats are basically the same speed, being one design. So we were very, very lucky that we got away, or lucky, good. Good plan, execution, all of that kind of stuff, and we managed to get out to a decent lead. So it was more comfortable than maybe the boats were battling in the behind us. They were within sight of each other the whole 10, 11 days.
Wow. So that's I tell you what, that says to me there's no sleep. You got no time for sleep, have you? Because those buggers are just over there.
Yeah. Essentially, you're keeping an eye on everything. The AIS that the boats have now, you can see how fast they're going, what direction they're going, if they're gaining, if they're losing. It's a stressful. It's a pressure cooker of an environment for the crew. You're always looking at how you're going. So it can be pretty stressful, and not much sleep.
Daryl Wislang is with his third ocean race victory. Oh, look, I find this stuff fascinating, mate. What's the best thing about it for you? What's the worst thing about it?
The best thing about it is the achievement,
winning,
the reward at the end. And the worst thing about it's running out of toilet paper.
Does it ever get scary, or do you not have time for that?
Look, it's to do with I think the team that you have around you. If you trust the people that are around you, that they're doing the things that they need to be doing to stay safe and keep the boat safe, and keep themselves safe, essentially, then there's no need for it to be scary. It gets scary, I think, when you don't have full trust in the team that you're with, and that's obviously something that a great team's built on is mutual trust.
How do you then find a team when there's only one Kiwi as well? I presume that you've got nationalities around the world. You've probably got many different languages on board the boat. How do you get your crew together?
I was lucky enough to, so I was filling in for Pablo Arate, who I've known for probably 18 years. Sailed around the world with him, and he was the skipper of the boat, but he had a prior commitment, so he couldn't skipper the last leg. So we put together the crew for the last two legs together, knowing that he was going to be the skipper for one of them, and I was going to be the skipper for the other. We work together and find people that we know and trust and have experience, and you go from there.
Daryl, so forgive me for asking some dumb questions, mate, but when you're at this level as a sailor, can you transfer those skills to anything? Could you sail on an America's Cup boat? How long would it take you to get to rhythm with all of that new tech and all of that kind of stuff?
It's something I haven't done, and I think it's the same principle. Like once you have the knowledge of how to do it, it's like driving a new car, if you like. Once you have the basics down, you can go straight over onto other disciplines. But I think the technology side of it is where there are a lot of changes, and for sure it'll take a bit of time to catch up. And it's not about the 98% performance. It's the last 2% that would take a lot of time to get up to, in my view. And I think if anyone says, "Oh yeah, I can go in there and go straight full speed, same as anyone else," is kidding themselves.
What is it about you love, especially about just the sails up, the wind's roaring, mate? You're on an angle, the sea's firing. Is there something? Do you ever consider that to be a job, or is it just something you just love doing anyway?
No, I don't think the sacrifices that you do to do it, I don't think you can. You could look at it as just a job. It's got to be definitely a passion, and I've obviously got a passion for it.
So, for people this is Daryl Wislang with us. For people who would know you in New Zealand, where did you start your yachting and all of that kind of stuff?
Started out in Nelson, sailing with my father and my brother. And later moved to Wellington, became a sailmaker, and left there about 2005. But we're back in Wellington, married with 3 kids, and we sail out of the same club that I was sailing out of. Wow. When I moved to Wellington. So
yeah, cool.
That's awesome.
So after you do your racing and stuff like that, because I can hear people in the background, is the first thing is that you've got family, you've got duties, you've got jobs. First you've got to re-meet your wife and your kids again, don't you?
Yeah. So they were all up in Europe. I had a number of events to do, not just the ocean race. So we've had 2 months in Europe, and they're currently in Barcelona awaiting their flight back to New Zealand. I was on a flight this morning to LA to join the Paiwacket team, which is owned by Roy Disney.
That's a good name. That's a good name to drop in Paola to party, isn't it? My mate Dizzo.
Yeah.
So you're back to work, though. That's what you're saying. You're on another boat, eh?
Yeah, doing LA to Hawaii. So that's the next race.
Well, look, thank you so much for giving us so much time. I'm so glad that I've met you. I'm so glad that I found a little bit about you. This is all going to be on Spotify on a podcast. We'll get your email so we can flick it over to you. And for those who got in touch with us and said, you got to talk to this guy, I'm so glad that they did. Thank you very much for giving us so much time, mate.
Nah, no problem. Thanks, Martin.
Bloody good talking to you. Isn't that brilliant? Eh? Isn't that brilliant, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know that man at all. That's the first time we've ever spoken.